Flex 15 coming up soon, going live soon. All right, cheers. Hey, welcome back, Joel. Good to see you. You made it back. Yeah. You weren't just pretending that you would. That's good. That's nice. So, have you done the new Flex 15 or?
I don't know is my honest answer, because I have done a couple of flex sessions on the website, but there's so many numbers now.
So many numbers. Well, it's the first time I've taught it, so it's a.
Is it shoulder heavy or legs heavy or?
I think it's. I don't know. It's very varied, to be honest. Quite a bit of split work in there. So a few new moves. So no, I wouldn't. I'd say it's pretty balanced, this one. Really,
cool.
Yeah. All right. So we're starting in about a minute. For those of you, who have joined us or are watching now, if you want to play some music alongside this video as well, if you head over to rise.co.uk/online, you will find a Spotify link on there. It's the little Spotify green logo. If you go on that, click on it, it will also give you the playlist that goes with this class as well. Flex 15 it is. All right. So it's our latest Flex program, this one. I'm hearing my ghost voice. So the little Spotify green logo. Hey, Flora. Oh, she's doing outside. Good idea. Welcome. All right, we've got 13 seconds and then we're getting properly started. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, risers? It's Ashton here. Hope you're all well today, and welcome to Flex 15. Okay, so our latest Flex routine here. So yeah, for those of you who do not know, Flex is our most popular class. It's really varied. Okay, so we move up and down a lot. There's a lot of flexibility work, strength work, shoulder work, hip work. You know, you really do work every muscle of the body, and that is why I and our members love it so much. Some of it's pretty challenging, but there'll be modifications available for you as well. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to take a wide-legged child's pose to begin with. So knees at mat width apart and toes touching at the back. Arms reach forwards, okay, glutes onto heels. And then from here, keep extending the arms, creeping fingers forwards, allowing forehead to rest onto floor. So at this point, we just want to focus on breathing and relaxation. Okay, once you feel like you can't extend the arms any further, then just allow the elbows to gently rest on the floor. Now we bring our focus to the breath. Taking a big inhalation in through the nose, feeling the whole body rise and inflate, and then exhaling out through the mouth. Okay, just another 5 deep breaths here. Really just taking this time to be mindful of how the breath moves with the body. The movements of the spine as you inhale and exhale. Just allowing all busy thoughts to just be left behind for the next 45 minutes. Giving yourself space to think and focus on just yourself. Releasing more and more tension out through the body. Just feel it sort of dissolve away from you. 2 more breaths here now. One more breath, really allowing the glutes to just nestle down in between the hips here and the back extend. All right, from here, lift the forehead up from the floor and then bring your hands towards you. Shift your shoulders over your hands and then separate the feet and bring the knees underneath the hips. So we're going to focus a little bit on the wrists now, all right? So quite often we do a lot of shoulder work and wrist work. So we're going to start by just mobilizing those first. So we're going to do a cat-cow flow, but this time we're also going to do a hand and wrist lift, all right? So I'll show you what I mean. So as I inhale, I flex my back. I bring my hips into the air, I lift my chin and chest, and then I come onto the fingertips. So I'm extending that range of movement here, yeah? Lifting the palms off the floor. And then as I exhale, I allow heels of my hands to drop back onto the floor, and then I tuck my chin to chest and round the upper back. Tailbone underneath the hips there. All right, so let's go for another 3 of those. Inhale, scooping, flexing, lifting onto fingertips, feeling that movement in the wrists. And then exhale, release, hands back to floor. 2 more now. Inhale, lift, making that lift nice and graceful, being light on the fingertips, using your core to lift the upper body there. 1 more to go. Nice and light on the fingertips again. Inhale, rolling shoulders away from ears. And then exhale. All right, from here, shift back into your neutral tabletop. So from here, we're going to just stretch our wrists in a slightly different way. So we're going to turn our fingertips towards one another in the center. We still want to keep our palms exactly where they are. We're just rotating the hands so that the fingertips point towards one another, okay? And then from here, we're just going to circle the shoulders, okay? You should feel that movement in the wrist, and that stretch on the inside of the forearms as you move from side to side. Right, 2 more rotations here for 2. And for 1. Now opposite direction with your circles for 3. For 2, maybe you want to widen your circles. And for 1. All right, well done. Okay, this time, coming into a bit of a deeper stretch, we want to point our fingertips towards us. So still keeping the palms where they are, rotating on palm. Bring your pinkies towards one another and have fingertips facing your knees, pointing towards the knees. Take a big inhalation here, palms to floor. As we exhale, sink the glutes back a little bit, keeping palms on the floor. And just feel that lovely opening of the insides of the forearms here. 3, try not to overdo it. For 2, relax the arms, allow that stretch to happen. And last breath here. Right, coming back into center, 1 last stretch in the wrists. So this time flip your palms over, palms facing up, fingertips pointing towards one another in the center here, and knuckles down. From here, rock gently from side to side. Really gently, guys. Okay, you don't want to cause yourself any discomfort. You don't want to put too much weight into the wrists here. Okay, for 3, deep breaths, side to side. For 2, and for 1. Okay, well done. Come back into center, flip your palms back over, coming back into our tabletop once more. From here, tuck your toes underneath and then lift the hips into the air, coming into our plank. Squeeze your glutes, guys. Make sure you've got a solid foundation here. Okay, bring the abs to back of spine, come onto knees if you need to. And then from here, we're going to lift one hand off the floor, fingertips light coming off the floor. As we exhale, we lower hand back to floor and then shift to the other hand here. So it's lifting one hand and then lowering and then lifting the other. Okay, so just feeling that shift of weight from side to side. Okay, 2 more on each side for 2. Exhale as we lower. And for 1. All right, from here, coming into your plank. Take an inhalation here, and then as you exhale, lift the hips back into the air, taking downward facing dog. Really squeeze abs, lengthen out the back by lifting the hips into the air. Feet at hip width apart. Maybe you want to pedal out the feet if it feels good to do so. Just opening up lower back and also the backs of the legs too. For 3, pushing the floor away gently, keeping the shoulders away from ears. Head is relaxed. 1 more breath here. And exhale. All right, from here, inhale, and then as we exhale, shift weight forwards, shoulders over, hands coming back into plank. 1 inhalation here. As we exhale, shift forwards, come into halfway chaturanga, guys. So we stop halfway. Come onto the knees if you need to. 1 inhalation here. Exhale, stagger and release to full chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. And then inhale, scoop to your up dog. In up dog, squeeze your glutes together, guys. Roll shoulders back, lift the chin and chest. Exhale, roll back into your down dog, hips back into the air once again. All right, inhale here. And then as we exhale, shift your weight forwards once again. If at any point you need to come onto your forearms, or onto the knees, feel free to do so. We're going to come into the plank sequence next, so a lot of strength work. Rest if you need. So let's start with a Spider-Man knee to elbow. Okay, as I inhale, I'm going to lift up my right leg. As I exhale, I'm going to bring my knee onto my tricep, right? And then inhale, release back into my plank. So it's a slow movement, guys, slow as possible. Yeah, you ready? 3 of these on that one side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bringing knee to tricep. Pause for a second. Inhale, lift. And then exhale. For 2. 1 more to go. Woo! And then release back into your plank. Yeah, beautifully slow there, guys. So from plank, we're now going to open up into a side plank. Come onto forearm or knee if you need to. So I'm going to lift off my left hand, and then ground into my right hand. From here, take your side plank. Feet can be staggered or stacked for a little bit more challenge in the balance there. If possible, maybe you want to take a little bow bind with me. No worries if not, stay where you are if you want. So bring heel to bum, the left heel to bum. Take hold of your left ankle here, and then bring knees together. Kick your knee backwards, the left one, the top one. This is half bow side plank for 3. Feeling that quad stretch. For 2. It's quite challenging this, guys. Keep those hips up. 1 more breath. Keep kicking that knee. And then release your left foot and pop it onto the floor. We are going to lift our hips and chest into the air into our wild thing. So we flipped into our wild thing now. With your left arm, reach and extend towards the front of the mat. If you need to, come onto your right knee for kneeling wild thing to relieve the wrist a little bit. Now, if you're quite comfortable in your wild thing, then let's challenge ourselves even more. So with your right leg, what you're going to do is you're going to sweep it over and in front of and cross it over the left leg. Okay, this is a cross-legged wild thing. It's a bit of a new position for me as well. Okay, really challenges that balance, as I'm sure you will discover. Keep lifting the chest, guys. 2 more breaths. Keep opening the chest, twisting the upper torso there. 1 more breath. And release. Uncross the legs. Pop both hands back onto the floor. And then come back into your plank. Now, if you need to, guys, pop your knees down on the floor and roll out your wrists. Massage them out a little bit, yeah? That is allowed. If you want to carry on, then take a vinyasa transition with me. So inhale here in plank. Exhale forwards to chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Elbows to your ribs, keeping working triceps. Inhale, scoop to up dog, squeeze glutes. Exhale, flow back into your down dog. Okay, are you ready for the other side now? So inhale here in down dog, and then exhale, shift forwards into your plank once again. So this time we're going to do Spider-Man once more, coming onto right knee if you need, and then lifting and driving the left leg there. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Hold for a second. 3 more. For 3. Keeping core tight, keeping those hips down. For 2. 1 more to go. You can do this. For 1. Woo! And then release back to your plank. Oh, so from here we are now going to open up into our side plank again. So lifting the right hand off the floor, grounding into left hand, ensuring that that left shoulder is directly above that left wrist for that alignment. Open up into your side plank, feet staggered or stacked, and then if possible, coming into that bow bind. So heel to bum, right heel to bum, and holding the foot with that right hand, kicking the knee backwards, opening up the quad and the chest there. 3 deep breaths, guys, for 3. Keeping hips up, stay strong. For 2. Should feel it in your hip flexor a little bit too, that top one. 1 more breath, come on to knee or forearm if you need. And then release your foot. Okay, pop the foot on the floor, lift hips up, flip over to your wild thing. Very nice. Okay, so taking kneeling wild thing if you need, staying in normal wild thing, or if possible, coming into cross-legged wild thing. Sweep your left leg across, over to the right, cross the shins, and lift the chest. Testing that balance for 3. Woo! Got to keep those abs engaged all the more here, and the glutes. For 2. Focus on breath. 1 more breath, keep it calm. Lift the chest. And release and cross your legs. Okay, hands onto the floor, roll back into your plank. Woo! Blimey. Okay, so roll out, massage your wrists if you need to. Shake it out a little bit. And then from here, vinyasa with me. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, flow to down dog. From here, bend knees. Inhale, and then exhale, drop knees, or up to your seated pose. Legs out in front. Yep, good job, guys. Okay, so from here, we're going to take a reverse plank to some L-sits. Right, we've got a few different options. You can take reverse tabletop to L-sits or plank. It's up to you. So hands onto floor, fingertips pointing forwards, roll the shoulders back, ground the feet into the floor at hip width apart. Inhale here, lift the glutes into the air. Now you can just stay here in your tabletop hold if that's enough for you. Okay, just make sure you're solid, the abs are squeezed, and that you're trying to balance something on your stomach here. Lift the chest. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can then swing slowly the hips back and bring the glutes towards the floor. Always trying to keep them slightly lifted by engaging the abs. Inhale, lift again, and exhale back once more. If you want to take a bit more of a stronger option, if you're feeling strong, come into your reverse plank. Straighten out the legs, squeeze the glutes. Everything is straight. And then from here, swing back, keeping glutes off the floor once again. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, back. All right, just 2 more of these. Inhale, lift. Squeeze glutes. Exhale, back. Try not to let the chest sink downwards. 1 more. Inhale, woo, and then exhale. Right now, you can release the glutes to the floor. Give your wrists a little bit of a shake out. Maybe roll them out, clasp the hands together, give them a roll out. Okay, and then from here, we're going to lie down and take a little fish pose. All right, so we've got a few different options. So lie down onto your back here. From here, ground your elbows into the floor, palms onto the floor, grounding down gently. Okay, lift the chest into the air, roll the shoulders back. Okay, pinch up the shoulder blades, And then from here, allow the crown of the head to fall onto the floor. If this is really uncomfortable for you, then use a brick or a cushion just to rest your head on here. If you want to just stay here, that's cool. Just opens up the chest nicely for you. If you want to take it a little bit further, introduce a bit more core work, then lift the legs into the air, keeping everything straight once more. If you want to take it even further, lift the arms too. Just try to ensure that you keep your head stable. You don't want too much weight in it there. Okay? Use the core. 3 deep breaths. For 3, keep extending the arms, keeping shoulders away from ears, keeping the chest up, keeping engagement of everything. For 2. 1 more breath. Keep those legs lifted if we can. And release, elbows onto floor. Now very gently ground elbows down and then lift head up from floor. Do this nice and gently. You don't want to come out of it too quickly. All right, so from here, we're now going to roll over into a forearm side plank. So elbow underneath the shoulder, hand is relaxed, both hands. Okay, coming onto the side. If you need to stay on your knee, that's cool. And then from here, we bring hand to temple, okay, elbow pointing upwards, hips up into the air, feet staggered or stacked up to you. As I inhale here, and then, as I inhale, I'm going to curl my elbow towards my opposite elbow, right? Make sure you get that whole rotation in all of the upper body there. So it's not just the arms that are moving, it's that whole rotation. That's what tests our stability and strength here. All right. 3 more of these. Inhale. Exhale. For 2. Can you curl a little bit more for me? A bit more rotation. And for 1 now. And 1. All right, now release your hips onto the floor. So you can roll over onto the other side, guys. To the other side, I'm going to flip over so that I'm still facing you. But you just roll over, yeah? So elbow underneath shoulder again. Hand to temple, top hand. Lift into your side plank. Let's go for those curls. Inhale, curl and rotate. Exhale, open up. Inhale for 2. Come on, elbow to elbow if possible. And exhale, open up. 1 more to go. Slow and steady, guys. Inhale. Keeping hips up. And exhale. And we're done. Release your hips to the floor. And then if you're facing the other side of the mat, bring knees to chest and then roll up into a plank. I'm going to come straight into a plank and we'll do a vinyasa transition from here. Good. All right, hands underneath shoulders, strong plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, scoop to up dog, little pinch of shoulder blades, squeezing glute. Exhale, flow to down dog. Inhale here, and then bend knees. As I exhale, I'm going to pop my feet towards the front of the mat, coming into this little sort of toe squat, right, onto the balls of the feet. So now we're going to come into a wide knee toe stand, guys. Okay, so it's like a toe stand, but we're going to open up the knees, all right? So pop your ankles together, turn your feet outwards. Make sure you've got a little bit of space between your toes here, because you'll need that as we're going to go up and down in this pose. All right, so knees turned outwards as much as possible, opening up the hips and inner thighs, finding that alignment and balance, so neck directly above hips as possible, keeping the core squeezed, keeping the chest up. If this is too much for your knees, just come into a half squat instead. Okay, hands to heart now. If you want to stay here, stay still, that's cool. If you want to go up and down with me, work the quads a little bit, then let's do that. So as I inhale, I'm going to lift up, keeping on the balls of my feet, straightening out the legs. As I exhale, I'm going to slowly lower, bringing glutes back to heels. Okay, 2 more of these, focusing on a spot. Inhale, feel that energy in the back of the body there as you push upwards. Exhale, slowly down. 1 more to go, straight up and down, guys. So you move in a very straight line. That makes the movement efficient and balanced. And exhale. All right, from here, inhale, lift once more. And then exhale, release feet to floor. Okay, bringing feet under hips now, so feet at hip width apart. We're going to come into a chair next, more quad and posterior chain work. So arms into the air. Inhale, reaching up, extending arms. As I exhale, sit back into your chair. Weight in the heels, glutes tucked, chest lifted, knees pushed out. Okay, don't have to go too deep. Just try to ensure that you've got a lovely straight back here. For 3, keep sinking back into the heels. For 2, maybe bring your gaze upwards slightly for that alignment. Yeah, looks good. All right, one more breath. And then from here, staying in your chair. Let's see, if possible, if you've got dodgy ankles, do not do this, guys. Okay, just stay on the heels of your feet if you've got dodgy ankles. We're going to come onto the outsides of our feet, taking a bound angle chair. All right, so push your knees outwards. So we're rolling onto the outsides of our feet here. Okay, and you should feel that lovely stretch on the outsides of the ankles. For 3, keep sinking back, keep the back nice and straight. For 2, yeah, looks good. Yep, you can bring the hands to prayer pose if you want. One more breath now. And then release, heels to floor, arms up and sweep down. Give the shoulders a little roll out. Cool, so that is our chair sequence over. Now we're going to come into a standing half moon. Right, so smooth transition, right fingertips onto the floor, either directly in front of the right foot or slightly out to the side, just whatever works for you. It's going to be different for everybody here. So fingertips onto the floor, grounding into our right leg. We then open up and lift the left leg and arm. Really squeeze the glute of this top leg here, okay? Keep it engaged. Try and keep it as straight as possible. Maybe even flex that foot. If possible, let's see if we can play with floating fingers there. So lifting those right fingertips off the floor. 3 deep breaths. For 3. For 2. Now let's try and stack those hips and the shoulders on top of one another. One more breath. Keep opening up to the side here. The more you open up, the more balanced you will feel. One more breath. Right, slowly release, still staying balanced on that right foot. We're now going to come into a twisted balance. All right, so right hand can be on left knee, left arm reaches behind us. We twist open to the left here. You can stay here, or if possible, come into a full leg extension by binding the left toe, big toe, with your right peace fingers. For 3, extend that back arm, look backwards if you can. For 2, soft bend in knee if you need. One more breath now. And release your toe or knee. From here, we're going to step back. Bring your heels in line with one another and recover in a triangle. So front toes pointing forwards, back toes pointing to the side. Legs are straight. Squeeze your glutes. Bring thighs together. Squeeze thighs together. Extend arms. One in front, one behind. Look at your front fingertips here. Inhale here. And then exhale. Shift your weight forwards. And then bend downwards. Okay, look at this top hand here. Roll your left shoulder back. Really open up here. Your bottom hand can be on your shin, ankle, or you can even take that bind with the big toe there, whatever feels good and enables you to keep that openness of the front of the body. 2 more breaths, keep squeezing the glutes together and the thighs. Feeling that lovely stretch in the top side of the back there. And one more breath. Okay, and then from here, release from your triangle, and then windmill hands onto the floor. We're going to take a vinyasa transition before we do everything on the other side. Exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga, slow if we can, or knees, chest and chin. Inhale, scoop to up dog. Oh, really lengthening neck. Exhale, flow to down dog. All right, from here, inhale, lift up the left leg. Exhale, plant foot just behind the hands. Okay, now we're going to come straight into our half moon, smoothly as possible. Ground into your left foot, left fingertips onto floor, lifting right hand into the air, extending the arm, really opening up at the shoulders and the hips, squeezing that top glute, keeping that leg engaged and poker straight. Okay, looking upward slightly and possibly floating those fingertips off the floor for 3. For 2, always keeping a soft bend in that base leg as well. 1 more breath. And then from here, slowly rise, coming into a twisted balance. So remember, hand onto knee, opening up over to the right, or if possible, taking that full leg extension with toe bind. Open up for 3, keep twisting, extend that back arm. For 2, woo, definitely getting a little blush in my cheeks now, feeling the heat here. 1 more breath. And then slowly untwist. Now plant your right foot behind you. Let's recover in our triangle. Heels in line once again. Front toes pointing forwards. Inhale, arms up, looking at front fingertips. And then exhale forwards and then bend at the waist here. Hand wherever it needs to be, or taking a toe bind. Looking at that top hand, really testing the balance and getting that openness in the body again. For 3. Squeezing thighs together. Everything is active here. But try to roll your right shoulder away from the ear. You don't want it hunching up towards the ear. For 2. Everything should feel balanced. And 1 more breath. And then from here, slowly untwist. And then windmill hands onto floor. All right, step back into your plank. Time for our vinyasa transition again. Inhale in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, scoop to up dog. Exhale, flow to down dog. Inhale, lift up the right leg. And then as we exhale, thread knee to chest. And then pop your foot in between your hands. So we're going to come up into a crescent lunge, guys. Try to ensure that your feet are hip width apart and slowly rise to that high lunge as steadily as possible. No worries if you might have a little wobble. Okay, you can just make your adjustments that you need to keep yourself strong and still. Sink down into the hips. Front leg is at a right angle. Okay, and then from here, let's open the chest as well. So interlock the hands behind the back. Push your front knee outward. Sink down into the hips and try to straighten out that back leg. Lift the chest, squeeze shoulder blades together. Lift the hands into the air. Okay, and send the chin upwards. Enjoy this pec stretch for 3. Should feel really nice in between the shoulder blades as well, that compression here. For 2. Keep lifting the hands, keeping the arms active. And 1 more breath. And release your hands. All right, from here, drop your back knee onto the floor, all with control, silently as possible. Coming into your kneeling lunge. So we're going to start by stretching out the quads first. So we're working into a half or full split, whatever is possible for you. So let's start by stretching out the quads. So with your back foot, if possible, try to take hold of it. All right, if this is just not possible, if your quads are just far too tight, then just use a strap to make that connection with your back foot there. Okay, just wrap it around your ankle or the sole of your foot there. So once we've got hold of that foot, then you want to try and lift the chest and shift your weight backwards. So bring your glute onto the heel here, and you should feel that deep stretch in the quad there. So that's the front of your thigh. Okay, these often get really tight just from walking and running. For 3, so it's really good to give them a proper stretch, especially before we're going to do a split, yeah. Keep bringing that heel closer to the bum. For 2. One more breath. If you find that you're wobbling, then maybe you can just use a little bit of wall to hold on to. That's cool, that is allowed. Or maybe your feet and your foot and knee are just a bit too close together, so try and bring them apart a little bit. All right, last breath, and then release that foot. So from here, hands framing front foot now, we're going to stretch out the hamstring, the front one. So from here, inhale, lift, sinking into hips. As we exhale, we shift the hips back, coming into your half split. Now with the hips, try to ensure that we haven't got one hip forwards and one hip back. So we want to try to keep them straight and in line with one another. So maybe draw one hip backwards to make sure they're even. For 3, maybe you want to creep forwards with the fingertips for more extension in the back too. For 2, try to relax. Allow the hamstring to stretch here. One more breath. And release. Okay, so from here you can stay in your half split, or if possible, just try and get as close to a full split if you can. Now, I really struggle with the split. I've got quite tight quads and hamstrings, so I'm going to use a brick underneath my right glute here just to help support me a little bit. All right. So I'm going to walk my back knee backwards to the back of the mat, and then I'm going to gently and slowly extend my front leg. Okay, and sink downwards into the hips. I want to keep my weight down in the hips here. Okay, it comes straight down. We don't want to be tipping forwards or backwards. Okay, I also want to keep my hips in line with one another again. So again, draw that right hip backwards if it's coming forwards. And try to relax into the hamstrings here. For 3, deep breaths now. Try not to overdo it. We do not want to be getting injured here. And 2 more deep breaths. Keep relaxing, guys. Oh, try not to fight it. I know it's hard. And 1 more breath. And release. Bend your front leg. Maybe wiggle your back knee towards the front. Remove your brick. And then slowly push off with the hands and rise to a standing position. All right, if you need to shake out the hips a little bit, that's cool as well. Now turn to the left side of your mat. I'm going to take a wide-legged squat with eagle arms. So feet nice and wide. If you want more stretch in your hamstrings, then maybe you want to pigeon the feet. That is where you turn the toes inwards. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. All right, so soft bend in the knees, nice and wide with the feet. Eagle arms. This time the right elbow stacks on top of the left, crossing arms or just having backs of hands together. Whatever's possible again. Inhale here, lift elbows up, and then exhale, sink down into your squat. Keep bringing glutes to knee level, and then hinge at the hips here. Trying to get that right angle with the body here, keeping the back nice and straight. So you don't want the lower back to round, and you don't want it to arch either. Open up the glutes here, squeeze the glutes. 3 deep breaths, keeps extending the arms, opening up shoulders too. For 2. Keeping everything active, enjoying that stretch in the back of the legs there. 1 more breath. Keep lifting yourself using the torso. And then release and twist the arms. And then from here, pop your hands onto the floor and then walk your hands back towards the front of the mat. We're now going to pivot on the feet to face forwards. and then pop your left knee onto the floor. So we're going to come into a twisted lunge stretch now. So we're just stretching out the bottom hip here as well as the inside of our front thigh. So from here, left hand onto floor on the inside of the opposite foot, the right foot there. And then with the right arm, we reach upwards. Okay, we open up, twist over to the right here. And then if you need to, maybe you want to walk your right foot farther to the back of the mat. Okay, if it's quite uncomfortable for you to keep your right foot in line with your hand, then just walk it back a little bit. Sink down into the hips, guys. Try to enjoy this stretch. Right, you should really feel it in the right hip, all in the glute as well, and a little bit on the side of that bottom hip too, the one that is reaching the floor there. For 3, deep breaths now. Enjoy the twist as well. For 2, try to relax. Keep reaching up, looking upwards. 1 more breath. And release, untwist. Hands back onto the floor. Tuck your back toes underneath. And let's go for that plank again. Right, vinyasa. And then everything on the other side. Inhale here in plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. Inhale, lift up the left leg. And then exhale, thread knee to chest. Pop foot in between the hands here. Slowly rise up into crescent lunge. Back leg is straight, sinking down into hips. Push front knee out. Interlock hands again if it feels good to do so. Roll shoulders back. Lift the chest. Sink down into the hips at the same time. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Staying strong. For 3. Keeping that lower body as still as possible. For 2. Push your front knee out, guys. Yep. Can we get a little bit deeper? And then last breath. Woo! And release hands. Come out of your back bend. Slowly lower your right knee to the floor. So we're going to come into our quad stretch again. Right, so bending that back leg, bringing heel to bum, taking hold or just making a connection with the strap with that back foot. Lift your chest and then sink back onto the heel with the glute here. Okay, try to relax your quad. Again, if you're wobbling everywhere, then try to maybe bring your front foot out to the side a little bit more. That will just give you a bit more of a wider foundation. 2 more breaths here for 2. Trying to inch that heel a little bit closer to the bum if possible. And 1 more breath. And release. All right, well done. Okay, hands framing front foot again. Let's go for that half split, stretching out hamstrings. Exhale, push back with the glutes. Relax front leg. Creep forwards with fingers if you want. And then also draw both hips together so that they're in line with one another. For 3. For 2. Keeping the back extended, not rounding the upper back too much. And 1 more breath. Whew, and then release. Okay, now for your attempt at full split or stay in half split, using brick if you need to. Okay, so walk your back knee back and then gently straighten out that front leg as well. Coming onto a brick if you need to with that left glute. Bringing hips in line with one another. 3 deep breaths, sinking down into the hips in a straight line. For 3, relax your legs. Good. Good work, guys. For 2, breathe through it. You can do this. And then 1 more breath. And release. Okay, bring your front foot in towards you. Tuck your back toes underneath. and then lift up into your wide-legged standing position again. So turn to the right side this time. We're going to come into that eagle arm squat once again. So this time we're going to come into a calf raise as well, but only if it feels good to do so. This time, left elbow comes over right, crisscross arms, eagle arms, pigeon feet if you want to as well. Okay, sink down into your squat and then hinge forwards, extending the arms forwards and then coming on to the balls of the feet if you want. 3 deep breaths. Stay sunk down with the hips and the glutes. For 2. That's it. Feel the energy in the back of the body there, in the glutes, in the hamstrings, the calves. Keep extending those arms as well. 1 more breath. You can do it, guys. And release heels to floor. Slowly roll up and twist the arms. And then from here, pivot and turn towards the front. Pop your hands onto the floor and then pop that back knee onto the floor. We're going to come into that twisted lunge stretch once more. So remember, right hand onto floor. Open up to the left. Allow your right hip to come, just rest on the floor here. You should feel that stretch on the lower side of the body. If you need to, then you can heel toe your left foot more towards the back of the mat if you're just finding it a little bit too harsh on this left hip. With the left arm, reach upwards, keep sinking down into your hips. For 3. Deep breaths now. Try to keep both shoulders away from the ears. For 2. All right, 1 more breath. And untwist. Hands onto floor and step back to plank. Oh, we're running out of time, guys. So from here, inhale here, and then exhale, lift hips into the air. And then from here, bend the knees and exhale, come into your seated position. So we'll just finish up with some bound angle sit-ups and then we'll move into the wild card. Okay, it's just taking me a little bit longer than I thought it would. So slowly roll back onto your backs and keep your feet in bound angle, so soles of feet together and the legs are bent. We're going to take some little sit-ups now, okay? So bring your heels as close to bum as is comfortable and then bring hands together in prayer position. Point your hands towards your heels, chin to chest. And then from here, as I inhale, I'm going to lift shoulder blades off the floor, keeping the feet on the floor, squeezing the abs. As I exhale, I'm going to slowly lower. So just another 5 of these. For 5, for 4, 3, a little bit higher with the shoulder blades if we can, 2, and for 1. Oh. All right, release onto your backs, and then whenever you're ready, just come up into a seated position. Let's go through that wild thing as quickly as possible, yeah? So I've chosen to do a side crow with eagle legs, okay? So it's quite a funky pose. So there are different ways of getting into it, but this is the way that I like to get into it. Okay, so let's just make sure that we've got the positioning of the side crow first. Okay, so you come side onto your mat, and then you want your hands at shoulder width apart. One elbow comes onto the hip, and the other elbow comes onto the outside of the knee. And then we want to come into a chaturanga. Okay, so this is the sort of position that we're going to be taking, just so we're clear about that. The hands are in line with one another. All right. So once we've got that, we can then eagle the legs, okay, so left knee stacked on top of the right. If I'm leaning over to my right, then I want my left leg on top, okay. So pop your hands down as you would for a side crow, and then from here, I ground into my hands, and then lift my hips into the air, and then pop this left knee onto my left elbow, the right hip onto the right elbow, and then from here, I lift my legs into the air, extending, and getting that lovely balance. Okay, so that is your eagle leg side crow. And just try to hold for 3 breaths. If you find that you cannot wrap your foot all the way around the calf. That's cool. Just have the legs crossed or just keep the legs straight so you just come into a side crow. That's cool here. So give it a go, guys. Let's see. Yeah, looking good, Joel. Can't really see Flora, but yeah, cool. Okay, so yeah, some people like to get into that by coming into an eagle chair first and then getting on the floor, but that's just easier for me, so don't always have to do it that way. Oh, Joel's giving it another go on the other side. All right. Well done, guys. So, whenever you're ready, have a little roll down into your Shavasana and let's relax. Arms out, legs out. Palms open, shoulders rolled back. Deep breaths now. Staying here for as long as you want at home there. As long as it takes to let you get into the right state of mind, the state of mind that you want to be in after a session. Bringing focus to breath. Okay, just a couple more breaths here with me. Relaxing all facial features. On your next exhalation, gently wiggle fingers and toes. Slowly roll to one side into your fetal position. And then when ready, just roll or push up to your seated pose. Close off the practice. So arms relax, inhale up, hands meet at top, and then exhale, bring hands to chest. Okay, namaste yogis. Thank you very much for practicing with me. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, have a shot at the wild card there. Thanks guys, bye bye.